JavaBeans model in Jakarta server pages. Now we are focusing on JavaBeans model in computing. In computing based on Java platform, JavaBeans is a technology developed by Sun Microsystems and released in 1996 as part of JDK 1.1. Now we are considering JavaBeans scope in a JSP. JavaBeans have scope just like all variables. You declare this in a JSP colon use bean element. When you use the bean for the first time, there are multiple scopes possible for bean. They are page, request, session, and application. We have started the page, which is at least variable went till the application, which most visible. To make easy to understand, look at the picture here. It shows how the scopes are arranged. Bean objects are only accessible or available or accessible in a scope that were declared and created to be visible. Let us look at these scopes in a little more detail. Page scope. If a bean is declared with the page scope, it is equivalent to local variables in regular Java code. If a bean is declared with the page scope, the reference to the bean disappeared once the JSP page is processed. It cannot be referenced by any other JSP or servlet if a forward or include is used. The request scope, if a bean is declared with the request scope, it can be accessed by any JSP or servlet within the same request. The reference remains alive in other servlet or JSP that is called by the JSP and colon include and JSP colon forward or using request dispatcher object. Session scope. If the bean is declared with the session scope, it is available to all JSP and servlet that are accessed by the single user. Even if the user navigates across multiple pages, the beans are available for use. You can declare a bean with session scope. Application scope. Application scope is the widest and most visible scope. The bean declared with the application scope is visible to just about servlet or JSP in the whole application context across user sessions. Though this might sound awesome, we usually do not declare beans with this scope because it can end up affecting us instead of being beneficial. For example, if the value entered by one user in his web page is visible to another guy, it would be disastrous, wouldn't it? So if you need to be cautious before using this scope. So here you can see application most visible scope inside it session, and then inside request and inside it page list visible. As an example, we can consider this code segment. Here you can see the action JSP colon use bean. A JSP colon use bean action associates an instance of a Java programming language object defined within a given scope and available with the given ID with the newly declared scripting variable of the same ID. Here you can see the attribute ID, the name used to identify the object instance in the specified scope namespace, and also the scripting variable name declared and initialized with that object reference. The name specified in this case sensitive. The name specified is case sensitive and shall conform to the current scripting language variable naming conventions. And here you can see class attribute, the fully qualified name of the class that defines the implementation of the object. The class name is case sensitive. If the class and bean name attributes are not specified, object must be present in the given scope. Here you can see this is introduce a new block here, and here the tag above creates or obtain a customer bean reference, associate it with the name customer in the page context, and declared a Java programming language variable of the same name initialized to the object reference in this block scope. Here you can see the usage of it, and here close the block. The variable customer is out of scope now, but the object is still valid and accessible via page context. As an example too, we can consider this one. The action JSP colon set property. The JSP colon set property action sets the values of properties in a bean. The name attributes that denotes the bean must be defined before this action appears. Here you can see attribute name. The name of a bean instance defined by JSP colon useBean action or some other action. The bean instance must contain the property to be set. The defining action must appear before JSP colon set property action in the same file. The property attributes, the name of the property whose value will be set. If property name is set to asterisk, then the tag will iterate over the current servlet request parameters, matching parameter names and values types to property names and setter methods types, setting each match property to the value of the matching parameter. If a parameter has a value of null, that means empty string, double quotation, the corresponding property is not modified. Here you can see the value attributes, the value to assign to the given property. This attribute can accept a request time attribute expression as a value. The action may not have both param and value attributes. As an example 3, we can consider action JSP colon get property. The JSP colon get property action places the value of a bean instance property converted to a string into an implicit out object from which the value can be displayed as output. The bean instance must be defined as indicated in the name attributes before this point in the page, usually via a JSP colon useBean action. Here you can see a name attribute. The the object instance from which the property is obtained. Here you can see property attribute names, the property to get. Here as an example 4, you can see here the expression language. Here $, open curly brace, JavaBean dot variable, closing curly brace. The value of the variable in the object JavaBean is this one. Here the expression language, and expression language makes it possible to easily access application data stored in JavaBeans components. As an example 5, we can consider this one. This is in expression language, this code segment. There are two constructs to represent EL expressions, that is the $ expression and hash then expression here. While EL passes and evaluate $ and hash in the same way, additional restrictions are placed on the usage of these delimiters in JSP pages. EL expression that is evaluated immediately is represented in JSP with syntax $ open curly brace, closing curly brace, while EL expression whose evaluation is deferred is represented with the syntax hash open curly brace, then expression, and then closing curly brace here. So as an example 6, we can consider this code segment. So in the controller class, we have already created an object of an employee bean here, and pass some values by using setter methods of the bean class. This object is then stored into set attribute method of the HTTP servlet request object. We forward this request object to the beandata.jsp by using request dispatcher to make the attributes available there. Here this method is called by the servlet container to process GET request. Is storing bean in session here. As an error example, we can consider this one. Here they cannot find any information on property data in a bean of type com.example.csa_server.db funcs.